All right. Welcome back to WEZY, the Easy Zone, home of Super Chill Saturdays with your boy Easy Reg back in the MIXXX. So make sure you've got those browsers set to incognito mode. All right, all jokes aside. Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Easy Reg coming at you hot again with a Super Chill Saturday. Not as requested, but as I wanted it because I wanted a Super Chill Saturday. So we're just gonna bring it back to y'all, and we gonna vibe today. Got some new Lo-fi. I'm digging it. Honestly, just kicking back. And just relaxing today. I think this will probably be like a little bit of a heavier episode because I got a lot on my mind. And I'm in a place where I can share it, but if maybe you're out there and you're someone who also needs to kind of hear something like this, but anyway, just kind of as a disclaimer, I know I was playing all of the maps in order at one point, and I said I was just gonna bounce back to like the Giant for Christmas or whatever. But I also wanted to play a map where I knew I could kind of kick back and focus in. And I know that Nacht is kind of one of those maps, and especially for 2021, hey, we made it, y'all. We are a day into 2021, and we're we're really vibing and everything like that. Oops, sorry, I got a text message, and it's important. But yeah, you know what, I'm just kind of, vibing and just trying to, enjoy 2021 as much as I can. Just because I'm kind of in the same encampment of, great, it's a new year and everything like that, but also I don't know. I have a hope that 2021 is going to be an absolute blast, and I'm gonna, good things are gonna come out of 2021, right? But I think there's still a part of my mind that is 2021's gonna be a little rough. And as much as I want to say yeah, it's gonna be one of the best years ever, it's not 2020, that's the best part of it. And I still have a mindset that almost reads as man, I don't know, I feel 2020 is just, or 2021 is just it's just going to be an extension of what 2020 was. So and that's always really hard, just because I'm a very optimistic person, but there are just times where I think to myself, I'm man, this is I don't know, maybe there's a little node of doubt in the back of my head that's yeah, I enjoy 2020 is good and all, but or rather 2021 is good and all, but is it? I don't know. Oh, cool, max ammo, that's great. Maybe it's and honestly I think it's just part of my mind that's oh well, 2020 wasn't great, and there's not a lot of reason to be optimistic in 2020, so why should I be optimistic about 2021? But after kind of talking to people about it, I realized that maybe that's the wrong way of looking at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, I think to myself, 2020, 2021, what's there to be excited about? 2020 sucked so bad that it's what's there to be excited about? But I've been kind of juggling my mindset about it and trying to look at it in a different light. Instead of being 2020 was so bad that 2021 is just going to be an extension of that. Looking more into the direction of, I don't know, we've lived through the brunt of 2020, and especially the brunt of COVID-19 and the brunt of all this stuff to a point now where we're just kind of where I don't know, I'm trying to develop a mindset of yes, 2021 sucked, or 2020 sucked, and 2021 doesn't have a lot of reasons to prove to me that it's gonna be 10 times better. but I think, I think we still have the ability to at least take 2021 by the reins, and not like forcibly control it or anything, but more like, this year I'm going to do better things. I'm going to manage my health better. I'm going to, I don't know, create more, be more creative, like be more outgoing or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Something to kind of benefit you and who you are and such, I don't know, that's my hope, right? Like, my hope is that, like, we'll be able to, wow, that was bright. Like, we'll be able to kind of take 2021 by the reins and be like, no, this is my year, but more of just like, whatever happens, whatever comes, is not going to be the end of the world, and I'm going to make the most out of the situation that I have been given. At least that's my hope, right? Like, I don't know if that's, entirely true or anything. Like, you never know. But maybe that's my hope, that like in 2021 we're just gonna take control of, where our lives are, and not do bad things. Not bad things, but not do like, alright, not like bad things or anything, but like messy things. So like, the real goal here is that we're not going to be messy in 2021. You know what I mean? We're not going to stand behind messy behavior either. If somebody's like doing some really crappy stuff, we're gonna call that shit out. Or, ooh, I'm out of ammo for that gun. That's fine. Or like, if somebody's, still using like slurs or something like that, like, or like, I don't know, like using slurs in the year of our Lord 2021 to like refer to minorities, like we're gonna call that shit out, instantly. Like, we're not gonna stand behind that mess. Like, that's a big no-no. Yeah, anybody who's like, oh, well, my horoscope says that, because I'm a Sagittarius, like, my goals for this year are to not call, minorities by their name, and instead by the worst slur ever. Like, and that's just because that's what my moon says. Like, we're not standing behind that. We're not, no. No. We ain't doing all that. Where did you come from? That's fine. Anyway, so that's my dissertation on how we're not gonna stand behind like messy behavior. How are you all? Hopefully your week was good. Hopefully your holiday was good. My holiday was kind of okay. I mean, it's about as good as like any holiday in COVID-19 can be. But hey, it wasn't like awful or anything. You know what I mean? Ooh. Even though I'm definitely going to trade this gun out. That's fine. But like, look, it was a holiday in 2020. And, I got to say goodbye to 2020. But still, it was just kind of like, I don't know. It was a lot. This year has been a lot, and I've done a lot of growing. Especially, I went from having a pretty stable job to having pretty stable income, to losing that job and not having anything for months, to getting another job. Like getting a completely new job. And just developing from there. Like just like kind of growing myself and like trying to make myself better, just because like, nobody else is going to make me better. Like, I think growth, like self-growth is self-growth. It comes from within you. People can make recommendations, and then you can either take them or not take them. But like, self-growth is self-growth, Like, you will grow, and, I don't know. You're in charge of, I guess, quote unquote, you're in charge of your own destiny. Which, it's funny, I sort of believe in, because I think, yeah, we're in charge, especially like of the actions and like steps that we take, but I think there's still like outside influences that kind of, force our hand, for the most part. But I don't know. I guess a year in reflection. I've seen a lot of stuff happen. I've done a lot of growing. Like I've even with this channel, like I've seen a lot of growth where I've kind of just developed my own personality within my channel. I mean, I still think I have a ways to go, but I've now been recording for like 2 months, and have gone like from, oh my god, this is super easy, I'm super excited to do this, to like just being kind of stressed out sometimes, making sure that like that I can get something out there and that I have something to show and that like I have content, quote unquote. Whereas in reality, like, I mean, yeah, sure, I need to worry about that kind of stuff, but it's not like, cool. It's not like I need, like, I won't be able to survive without doing this, Like, I've learned how to, like, work with audio as well. Like, I'm not gonna lie, some of my early videos are, like, mad poo-poo. The audio is mad poo-poo on it. But, like, I've also tried really hard and worked really hard to edit the audio a little bit better, so that way, like, those issues don't pop up as much. Now, granted, I'm still learning, right? Like, that audio is still mad old poo-poo. But that doesn't mean that, like, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, it's been a year of growth and a year of change, I think, as well, because it's like a necessary change, not just the tides are changing, we've got to change with them or whatever. No. I think it's been a year of change where we've really had to kind of prioritize what's important in our lives and really what we need to kind of, I don't know, take from ourselves and build off of. So I'm glad I've had that opportunity. And, kind of taking that. So, yeah. So I hope, you all have kind of learned or had a similar lesson to that. Where you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take, like, this year was mad poo-poo, right? For sure. Like, 2020 was big baby poo-poo. Like, stinky diarrhea in a diaper. And nobody wants it back, right? Like, mad poo-poo, no good. Like, 0 out of 10 would not recommend, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't know. I think a lot of good stuff came out of this year, but also, like, but I think also, like, a lot of, bad stuff came out of this year. Like, a lot of disappointment, a lot of, like, disheartening news, and, just general, like, concern, I guess, But I think also, like, a lot of good, a lot of growth came out of this year, and I'm glad that it came out of this year. I don't know. I hope for better. I'm not getting dead shot. No, thank you. Yeah. Big boy's trying today. Come on. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, a lot of growth, a lot of, like, change, especially in life. And I think for a lot of people that's been, like, something to get used to. Like, oh, things have to change now? Okay, I guess that's okay. That's weird, but yeah, like, a lot of change. Change is a coming. So, it's funny. Oh, okay. I have talked about this before, right? But this channel, like, especially this whole Super Chill Saturdays kind of vibe, while it was made to kind of help people talk about their mental health and stuff like that, it's actually done wonders for me and myself. you know, where like I'm thinking a lot about my own mental health and like, you know, putting a lot of my own stuff in a priority, and also just putting my own thoughts and like my own feelings into the ether. Not only for other people, but I think just for myself, right? Which is always really nice, I think. You know, because I think it's funny. I don't think a lot. I don't think a lot of people like take the time to really be real on main. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, I have to put on this personality, and like I have to be fun, or I have to be funny, or I have to do this or do that or whatever. And like, sure, but I think also that takes out of the account like, hey, we're human, and like we don't have great days. Like, I mean, you know, if you're watching this, or if you've seen stuff like this, like I know a lot of people have kind of, ooh, this is bad. It's not great actually, but it's not awful. Okay. Yeah. Hey, but I did escape. Oh. Oh. Did you like that action? I like that action. But a lot of like content creators have kind of like gone through it this year. Like, you know, I think there are a lot of like YouTubers, or at least I've seen, who have been like, yeah, I've definitely thought about like quitting this year. Like, I've definitely thought about like quitting YouTube. Like, it's been too much, and you know, like my mental health has been really hard and everything. Like, and there have even been people who have quit YouTube and just been like, I just don't have it anymore. You know, like, not like I'm not entertaining or interesting or anything like that, but just more of like, you know, the passion is gone, the drive is gone. And especially in those situations, like, you know, and it's a lot of young people, like, you know, a lot of young people who are like, I just don't have it anymore, you know? And I think especially in those kinds of situations, it's normal not to have that drive or that passion anymore. It like 3,000% is normal. Because we go through periods of our life where the things that we used to do were really fun. However, they're no longer fun, right? And that's always a really hard thing to grapple with, solely because we don't want those fun things to leave our lives, right? Like, we want those things to kind of be forever. I'm not taking Deadshot Daiquiri. Stop giving me Deadshot Daiquiri game. But like, you know, we have these moments in our lives where the things that were fun are no longer, you know? Like, I mean, even in the past like couple of months of me playing zombies, I can feel myself kind of like getting tired of zombies, but also just trying to make it a little more fun and like try my hand at new difficulties and try like to get better, like difficult challenges that I know I probably won't be able to complete, you know, like there will be days where, you know, I think I've talked a little bit about this, but like I've been working a lot to try to complete the Shadows of Evil Easter egg, right? And I still haven't done it. Granted, you can't do it on solo, but like, you know, you can at least get up to, you know, for those of you who know, like, you can at least get up to the Shadow Man and then, like, quote unquote, you know, try and kill the Shadow Man. I have not been able to even do that. And so, like, I've been working on my own time to just be able to at least get that. It's more like a, being able to say like, hey, I can at least do that, you know, like instead of being like, I don't really know how to do this or that, you know. I am not taking Deadshot Daiquiri. Stop. You know, and just trying to make things as interesting as possible. I mean, even in, you know, last week's episode, like I was like, I'm gonna try and do a cute little challenge, and I'm gonna try and do the Santa's gift or whatever, and I'm not taking stamina up either. What do I need stamina up for, dude? It's a small map. Man, that perk, that Wonderfit soda perk machine is big poo-poo. I keep asking for like nice perks, like speed cola or something like that, and it's like Deadshot. I'm like, no, speed cola. Deadshot? And it's like, no, speed cola. But yeah, like, you know, I've been trying to at least like make this fun for me, and also I don't know, fun for you all. Cool. I just wasted that death machine. Big fun. And like make it fun for me as well as make it fun for you all, just because, you know, like I want this to be an entertaining thing. Like I don't want this to be like a, oh my god, why would I watch this? This is super boring, you know? And you know, so I've been kind of, I don't know, working and kind of just making my own challenges and trying to make zombies as entertaining for myself. Just because, you know, like I still have to be entertained. Sure, I'm doing this for your entertainment, but like I also need entertainment. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I don't know. It's, you know, but I think, you know, we have periods of growth where we kind of grow out of some of the stuff that makes us, you know, that makes our lives fun. I am not taking stamina up. Hoy. Oh boy. So yeah, anyway, I don't know. Those are some of the things that have kind of been on my mind, especially during COVID-19 times, and I wouldn't say that we're nearing the end, because as I've kind of talked about before, you know, like, there's the social idea that, you know, COVID-19 isn't real, yada yada yada. We don't need to wear masks. Wake up, sheeple, blah blah blah. Like, but also like this idea that, you know, alright, I guess we're just having Jug today, like, since, you know, the COD gods have just decided that I'm only getting Jug, no other perks, because no other perks exist outside of Deadshot, Daiquiri, and Stamina Up. But, you know, I mean, I think everyone sees the new year as a reflective holiday, right? And it's important to reflect and to kind of take into account like where you want to go, right? Because I think we all have places we want to go. It's just like, where do we want to go? There's so much out there. Like, I could go here, I could go there, I don't know. But I do know that it's all scary, you know, like that kind of idea where it's like, where do I go from here? You know, what do I want to do with my life, my career, my hopes, my dreams, my, you know. And it's important to reflect. I think it is super important to reflect, and like, I'd even go far enough to say like to make a game plan. You know what I mean? Because I think, you know, getting a quote unquote game plan is super important. I might just end this round. Yeah, that's fine. Great. All right. Speed cola. Speed cola. Quick revive. I'll take that. More? More! Give me another soda. Hell yeah, there we go. Alright, see? See, they just were like, you have to wait. Be patient. Patience is a virtue. I've also, okay, listen. If COVID-19 has taught me absolutely anything, it is definitely be patient. And holy cow, that's been a hard lesson. You know what I mean? Because, like, just being patient is a really hard thing for me. Because it's like, why would I want to be patient? Like, I just want all of my gratification and stuff that I want now, you know, rather than, I don't know. So it, you know, like, COVID-19 has taught me quite a lot. You know, I'm going to use this specialist weapon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this specialist weapon is... What? Is there a knife on this? Oh, God. Yeah, this Annihilator is, big stinky. But yeah, so I don't know. I've been working a lot to kind of just better myself and, like, kind of put myself in a better situation and a better mindset. I'm gonna fire these off. Ta-da. and just kind of like take 2021 in stride. But also, you know, I've been kind of thinking a lot, just, you know, hoping that like 2021 will not be a continuation of 2020. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it'll be things are looking up, things are much better. So, but yeah, but also in the same mindset, being like, all right, we need to take control of 2021. Like, 2021 is ours, and we're gonna have to set some ground rules. You know, like, for example, and I talked about this before, we're not gonna like stand behind shitty behavior. We just will not. I will not, specifically. That is not part of my MO, and I'm not going to make it part of my MO. In fact, like, it's just not gonna happen. It is not gonna happen. Like, and I specifically use like I specifically use, you know, like slurs and like saying slurs in the year of our Lord 2021. But like, there's kind of a reason, but it's more of like, that was the first example that popped up in my head. But I also recently watched a video, and it was this guy commentating about how, you know, like, Call of Duty used to be really fun, and it used to be, you know, like, it used to have like really good memories for him and everything like that. And, you know, I stood behind that, you know, like, I totally get that, especially like, you know, having good memories. But then he also started talking about, like, you know, how they should bring back, like, you know, lobbies, like old lobbies, and how Call of Duty lobbies should pretty much... You probably thought I switched out the RPK for the Locust. I didn't. I heckin' bamboozled you. But he started talking about, like, you know, the great parts about like old, you know, Call of Duty lobbies, like especially like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, and everything like that, where they just had like that Xbox live chat where, like, or that lobby chat where you can just talk to whoever and say whatever and yada yada yada, and like how that was a good thing and how we need to bring that back, and like, you know, like, we need to bring that back. And like, sure, there were a lot of people who said like really unacceptable things on there, but like, that's what turned you into a man. And I was like, this has to be the worst take I have seen in a fortnight. Like, it's so bad, you know? Like, I was just like, this is such a bad take. Like, I get it, you know, you want to bring back the old days, but like, also, what? Like I you know, I understand like the whole idea, you know, like the idea of like, specifically he referenced the idea that, yeah, you know, a lot of people like connected over lobby chat, and like, you know, we just talked, and like, you heard a lot of stuff, like you heard like so many words and everything, but like, and you were called so many words and everything, but like, it's what really toughened you up, and blah blah blah, and yada yada. And I was like, okay, that's great and all, but like, no. That's still not a good enough reason for me to be like, yeah, we need to bring back lobby chats. Like, hell no. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely not. Just because, like, here we are, baby, baba booey. Like, in no way, shape, or form, in like good conscience of my mind and all, like, yeah, let's bring back lobby chats so we can, you know, call each other slurs again and like enjoy that stuff. So, if there's anything, any kind of behavior that we're not standing in 2021, it's, you know, racist shit, truly. So, really xenophobic shit, because, you know, anything was said on those lobbies, and I was like, I don't know. There's something about like glorifying like shitty behavior in teens and adults, along with like the idea of like, I don't know, pretty much normalizing like any kind of slur in the year of our Lord 2021. Like, that just will never sit right with me. And so I was just like, that's great and all. Like, I fully understand that you want like the quote unquote glory days back, but also, no. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, no. Ooh, this might be it. Why? Why? Okay. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I'm a smart boy. Yeah, we're gonna survive. Okay. Do these weapons just no longer work on these rounds? My god, like... I mean, it also probably helps to, like, aim well. Ah, shit. Okay, well... Didn't do well that round, but that's okay. Because next round it's going to be just about the same. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, something about, like, normalizing slurs for the sake of having, like, something really stupid like an Xbox lobby chat is just, it didn't sit right with me, and, like, I could not agree with it in good faith. Because, like, I don't know. Personally, as a black man, that shit is not acceptable. Like, at all. You know what I mean? Like, I've been called the N-word over, like, lobby chats before. It's not fun. It's not, it doesn't build character. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm a better man because of it. Like, I learned how to be a man through many other different ways. I don't need to be called, like, a slur to really, like, toughen up my skin and yada yada yada. And he went on to continue about, like, Fortnite kids will never understand because Fortnite kids are, like, babied or whatever. And I was like, dude, this is horse shit and you know it. You know what I mean? Like, this is white man horse shit and you know it. You know, so if anything, we're not standing in 2021. It's that kind of shit and, like, defending that kind of shit. Also, another thing that we're not standing in the year of our Lord 2021 is bad gameplay. So, I guess I'm canceled. I'll get off of my soapbox now about that, so. But that was just something that, like, sat on my chest, and I was like, no more of that. You know, I was just like, yeah, no, I will not defend this shit anymore. So yeah, I don't know, I don't know. But, like, I guess I kind of hinted towards it. Like I talked about, you know, this week has been really hard. Specifically within my new job, and I'm, like, really still learning the ropes, right? Like, granted, I've only started I started about 3 weeks ago. And I feel like I'm doing okay. I can't tell you, like, to be honest. I'm just like, I think I'm doing a grand job, or at least trying to do as best as I can. But there are a lot of times where I feel like I'm not really doing well. Like, I am, quote unquote, screwing the pooch in some way, shape, or form. Damn it, I completely forgot to. Yeah, it's fine. I'll do it on my downtime when I have some today, because today is going to be a big recording episode, or big recording day. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button so you can see all the work that I'm gonna put in today to really give you some entertainment. But yeah, I don't know, like, it was something about, like, I don't know, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I mean, like, this week has been, like, really weird and hard for me, especially with, like, my job, because, like, I think I'm doing a good job, you know what I mean? But I'm also a person who has a low self-esteem, like many of your gifted students from, you know, middle school or whatever. It's funny, I literally was a gifted middle school student, and, like, I strived for great grades and everything. When I got older, I kind of let my grades slip. Like, I wasn't, like, a 4.0, like, straight A student or anything like that. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying me running this roulette as I wait for these zombies to come, because it's gonna be a millennium, and I might as well give you at least some entertainment. But I used to be like a straight A, not like a straight A student, but like, I pretty much an A and B student. So mainly like my GPA was like 3.8, 3.6. I graduated from high school with a 3.6. But that was mainly because I was really good at math. I was really good about history, and then I was big baby dumb about like English. So pretty much, I don't know how to speak good. Yeah, but I can tell you right now, I'm good at other stuff. I'm big baby dumb when it comes to like English, but like anything else, I'm a pro. Ooh, the Yankee with no brim. Yo, smash that like button if you don't get that reference. It's there is this video of this guy. I guess it's this guy and his friend, and the guy. Ooh, okay. I guess I'm just gonna switch over to the brim. There's this guy wearing a hat, and you know like those like new era baseball caps that people wear, like with the flat brim on top and everything like that. So this hat had no brim, right? No brim, or like no flat bill top or anything like that. So that's where that phrase kind of comes from. So like whenever you hear the phrase Yankee with no brim, it's this guy like pretty much taking like a circle shot around this person with like a cap with no brim, and it's just funny because he's like, whoa, Yankee with no brim. And he's just geeking out about it. It's so funny. But also honestly, like the hat's pretty cold. Like, I mean, it kind of looks like a stocking cap kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, this wouldn't look good on me, but I know some people it would look good on, and like I approve this. You know what I mean? Granted, I'm not like the person for approval for hats or whatever, but like I was just kind of like that's nice. I like that. So yeah, that's the tale of Yankee with no brim. And so every time I get the brim, I'm like, whoa. Honestly, it's not a bad gun. I really like the brim. Honestly, all the LMGs in Black Ops 3 are like on fucking point. With the exception of, I think, the Gorgon and the 48 Dredge, because the Gorgon's like this very slow gun. Like very, very slow shooting gun. And so, hold on, let me make sure the music is actually still playing. Okay, sorry about that. I'm having like some problems with my music app or whatever, and so like it just stopped playing music for a while, and I was like, I don't know why. And like sometimes there are tracks that have been popping up, and sometimes there aren't tracks that will pop up, so it's just kind of like, what's going on? So I need to use this. I don't know what I was talking about. I was talking about something important, and it was something from the heart. I think it had something to do with like this week was just big mad poo poo, and then I started talking about the Yankee with no brim. But yeah, I was talking about like my job and everything like that. Like I'm still learning, right? Like I'm still learning about my job and everything, and like how to do a good job, and not be a big dumb, especially at my job. But I think like I'm still experiencing many moments within my job where I'm messing up, quote unquote. Ooh, that's helpful. I'm still messing up, quote unquote, but I think like still it's just kind of like it's hard, it's hard. It's hard when we ain't got no library card. And sometimes problems will pop up, and I'll receive an email from my boss. And I'll kind of take it personally, even though Um, it's not specifically directed towards me, right? Um, but it'll be, just directed in general to, like whoever is tagged on that, or whoever that is added to that email. So like this email wasn't just added to me, it was added, or this email wasn't just sent to me, it was sent to another person as well. And pretty much it was along the lines of like, this is missing, you said it was on there, yada yada yada, this doesn't make sense, like, this isn't right, yada yada. And so like I kind of took it personally, just because like I'm one of those people that really wants to do well at their job, it's not like I'm a person who's like afraid to fail or anything. It's just more of like, I don't like to disappoint, right? Like that's the biggest thing. And so when I feel like I am disappointing, I personally take it really hard. Because I feel like it's a reflection of myself. And it's not. It never is. And like I think I know that deep down in my my smart brain, I know that. But like my dumb depression brain is like, this is all your fault and you should have been doing more. But in reality, I know I couldn't have been doing more. I did exactly what I knew how to do. And I've been going off of the knowledge that I have from there, So, yeah, I'll take some Widow's wine. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard specifically just because I know I can be doing better. And I know that, quote unquote, not everything is my fault, but I still internalize it and take it as my fault, if that makes sense. And I think I know that it's a bad habit, and that truly things are not always my fault, and I shouldn't take them in that way. But it's still just kind of like, no, I feel like this is my fault. Like, I feel like I did wrong, But also knowing full and well that, like, it's not my fault. Like, I'm not a failure, right? But I still very much kind of, like, internalize that because, I don't know, I think I've kind of internalized a lot of things to take things personally, right? Like, it's not, it's not anybody's fault. And, I have been under the impression and understanding that what I am doing is correct. And just kind of learning to the best of my abilities to do as best as I can. And to work as hard as I can to pretty much get better. But still there is that mindset of, oh, well, I'm not doing this right, or I'm not doing that right. And because of that, I'm a shitty employee, and I can't, I can't better myself because I'm just generally bad, and I'm not made for this position, or I'm doing a bad job, and I'm not fit to work in this position. Which is not true, right? Like, it's not entirely true, I am worth something. I am trying my best. I am trying to create as great of an employee as I am. I think, like normalizing mistakes is normalizing mistakes is key. Because, we can't do everything. We cannot. There are sometimes things that we know how to do, and there are sometimes things that we have no clue how to do. And that is A-okay. I am not getting stamina up. Thank you. XOXO Gossip Girl. So, anyway. What I'm really trying to say here is, like, if you are also a person that kind of, like, suffers from beating yourself up way too hard, we're also cutting that shit out in 2021. So that stuff is canceled. So if that means that you're canceled, it doesn't, because, we got to work together to kind of like normalize this idea that, hey, we can't do everything as much as we want to try to do as much as we can and do everything that we can to like make ourselves as best as possible. We can't do everything, and that's A-okay. That is the F-O-K. So take that energy going into 2021, understanding that we have limits, we can't do everything, and we don't need it. And because we mess up, it's not like a personal reflection on like how bad we are. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, all right, cool. I mean, you know, yeah, we messed up, but hey, it's a okay. We roll from it. We roll from it. We do better, and we take a better mindset and energy into 2021. We take a better mindset and energy into 2021. The depressed man says, as he rants and raves about how he's pessimistic about 2021 because whatever. I'm not taking stamina up. I don't want stamina up. Why give stamina up? Goodbye, stamina up. You are gone. I would like a new perk, please. There we are. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard when you don't have a library card, TBH. But yeah, so we're not standing behind messy people this year. We're not blaming ourselves for everything. We're not calling people slurs this year, so that's nice. And also we're just kind of cleaning up, cleaning up the video game community, because I think another really bad thing, because like Call of Duty doesn't suffer from this problem alone. I think a lot of different games, especially a lot of online games, suffer from this problem, and that's like, oh, well, we're gonna say whatever we want, and if it offends people, tough. Like, we're gonna say whatever we want, we're gonna do whatever we want, because that's what cool people do. And it's like, yeah, but also, like, why not create accepting and exciting environments for people that, want to be in this place? Like, I don't know. People look at video games as like a way to relieve stress. So let them kind of live that truth. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, beat up on people or like say that, huh, you suck because you didn't do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. And like, you can call me a pansy if you want. Like, if you think like that's weak people talk, like, so what? I honestly, I don't care. Like, I'm like, nah, that shit's just not acceptable in the year of our Lord 2021. Like, it's just not. What am I looking for? Oh, I don't remember what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a new perk. Am I still out of ammo? Yes, sir. But yeah, I don't know. I'm in a new place in my life, like, or I'm at least trying to get to a new place in my life and create new stuff and like be as supportive as possible, especially with my own in my own vein. Like, I can't be everything, you know what I mean? Like, I can't be supportive for like everything and everybody, especially when I have my own shit that I'm worried about, or like, I don't know, whatever's going on in my corner of the world, you know what I mean? Like, it's, I can try to be as supportive and as like there for people as I can, but also recognizing that like, not everybody can, cool. Real cool. Okay. I don't know if anybody else has been experiencing this, but like, I have been getting disconnected from the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 servers like a lot recently. And I haven't been doing anything specific, like anything bad. Like, it's more just like I'm just playing, and then it'll randomly just cut me out. And like, I have an Ethernet cable hooked up to my Xbox, but it's just like there will be times where I just up and disconnect. there's no like real rhyme or reason. It just kind of happens. But hey, I get to customize my gobblegum pack again and give you some entertaining stuff because I did it before and then like, oh no, that's not the one I wanted to change. And then it just like didn't work or it didn't keep for some reason. I'm gonna try Perkaholic, so I just don't want to like waste that time. Should I use Perkaholic, especially in something as silly as this? Probably not, but we're here anyway, so it's too late. But yeah, I've been experiencing that problem like a lot, where it'll just like up and disconnect me from, you know, the Xbox servers, and I have my own like HDMI cord, or not HDMI cord, but Ethernet cable like hooked up, so it's not like it's a wireless connection, it's wired. It'll just like disconnect still, and it's the only device that does that. My phone is perfectly fine, my computer is perfectly fine, my girlfriend's phone is computer is perfectly fine. It's just this. Whew. A sneeze and an ambulance. You're getting all types of audio today. So yeah, I don't know, it's frustrating. It sucks. It big poo poo. Big dummaroony. What do we get? What do we get? That is... Ooh, eye candy. Cool. So that way we can at least, like, I don't know, class it up, do whatever, chill out, max and relax and all cool, and those shoots some b-ball outside of the school. Won a couple of guys. They were up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight. My mom got scared. Is that copyrighted? That might be copyrighted. I should stop singing that. I begged and pleaded with her day after day, but she packed up my bags and sent me on my way. It's that special first episode verse. You never hear it again. But it's a shame. They should bring that back. I have not started watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's on HBO Max, but like also, who's got the fucking money to pay like $15.99 for HBO Max? Hello? Like, in the world of 2021 now, like, who has the money to pay for a service that can't even like work out deals for its own app on like any Amazon or any Amazon Fire Stick or like Roku TV, but like by the time this episode comes out, like that'll all be out. But like, look, HBO Max has been a hot mess, and you cannot convince me otherwise at all. Like, they're rapidly losing, like, I don't know, they're rapidly losing like contract deals on movies that they own. Like, you know, like, I understand at least the DC stuff because DC has started their own streaming service, which totally, I guess, makes sense. Whatever. Everybody's trying to get on this cash cow, and they're, like, really just humping everything. Ooh, here's what we're also not standing. A bunch of, like, corporations just trying to get rich or whatever off of the people. We're gonna fight back. We're gonna return to piracy. Safely, of course. I'm not gonna, like, condone piracy in the sense of, like, we're not taking, you know, like, we're gonna hit the internet and go to the old sites and we're gonna stream and torrent. We're gonna steal it all. Like, we could. Like we totally could. But, the internet lords are listening in, so I can't really, like, I can't officially tell you to do that, because then, you know, then I'd be, encouraging theft, and I can't encourage theft. Not on this channel, at least. But hey, I might make up another channel called the Theft Channel, where you can then come to my channel and be encouraged to steal as much content from the internet as possible. All the cool kids are doing it. Oh god, I forgot about this. Oh god, it's hideous. It looks like a monster. Like, it looks like this weird poo-poo Okay, bootlegger. You know, I feel like I've talked about this before, but I'm not a huge fan of the bootlegger, right? And I think it just has to kind of do with the fact that, like, the bootlegger's not a bad gun or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. It's a gun, and it's just not my favorite. Like, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't actually know. There's something about the bootlegger. And I'm just like, meh. Ooh, the MX Garand, huh? Some good damage. Can't deny that. Gun big poo poo though. Headshot. Headshot. Curve the bullet. Yeah, the MX Garand is big poo poo. Not good gun. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. But hey, somebody out there is probably like, nuh-uh, the MX Garand is probably one of the best weapons in Call of Duty Zombies. Or the best gun that they've ever come out with in Black Ops. Like, and I'm like, nah. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, the assault rifles and LMGs in this game, primo. All the automatic weapons, absolutely fire. The shotguns, they're good if you pack a bunch of them. But, like, they're kind of big poo-poo, too. Big pooperino. Big pooperino. I crack myself up sometimes. You know, without my own star, my own co-star at least, you know, I gotta make myself laugh sometimes. And if I can't make myself laugh, then it's like, poop. You ain't got no head. Wonder Bread. Honestly, I might just rock this MX Garand for a little bit while I just kind of talk about some stuff. Oh, here's one thing I wanted to talk about. Just because it is a heavy episode, and I think, you know, we talk about a lot about that kind of stuff. You don't have to share any details. I'll talk about, you know, some of the stuff that I feel comfortable talking about, and then just kind of like, if it relates to you, then great. If it doesn't, perfectly fine. But I got to talking with my girlfriend. Oh, what day was that? It must have been, it was like Thursday into Friday because, you know, we were celebrating the New Year's by ourselves, but we were kind of doing some stuff that, like, we really wanted to appreciate and, like, enjoy. And for the third time this episode, I'm going to talk about it. I wasn't feeling great this week. Like, this week has been mad pooperoony. It's been big, huge disappointment. And, you know, we just kind of got to talking about, like, how we feel and, like, how are we doing? Like, what's our goals? What's our aspirations looking back in the year? What are we happy to have in our lives? And, like, where do we want to go in the next year? And I think a hard thing, especially when I do get very introspective. I just remembered I had insta-kill on, yet I'm trying to get headshots. I have the weirdest flexes sometimes. I don't understand why. I'm just like, sometimes I space out. But we wound up talking a lot about, like, you know, the people that we've lost and the people that we don't have, and, like, our memories of them, and, like, what we remember of them, and how we remember them as well, which I guess is always a hard thing to talk about, seeing that it is a very serious combo. But I remember while we were kind of talking, like, the idea of trauma kind of popped up into my head. And trauma is something I've really only reserved for, like, people with PTSD and, like, you know, like, war trauma and stuff like that. I've never really, like, reserved it for, you know, us commoners, I suppose. But I got to thinking about it like a lot, right? Um, and one of the things I kind of took from it was like, I think we all have trauma in our own way. Like, we don't have to see like a bloody, gruesome, like death, or even like go through like a horrific like nightmare. Like, we don't have to go through like a Saw level nightmare in order to say like we have trauma. You know what I mean? Um, so like, I started thinking about my own life, my own introspective, and like some of the friends that I've lost even from high school. Like I've lost friends from high school. I've got friends from college. People even acquaintances that I knew from college that are not alive anymore. Um, and sometimes I think about them in the sense of like, God, what if they were alive today? Like, God, where would they be? What would they say? And I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I went to a performing arts high school, so I went to high school with a lot of talented people, with a lot of like talented, individuals who did a lot of work, who were really driven, who really created something for themselves and like really found themselves in high school, while I am getting pinpoint accuracy headshots. Um, and so I just, there are some times where I think to myself, like, what if a person was alive? Like, what would they be creating? Um, what would they be doing? And so it's a really hard conversation. And then I realized, and this is all coming to a head now, I promise. Like, I'm not just gonna ramble on about like the comrades I've lost or whatever. Sorry, that was a really shitty joke. Um, but I started thinking about some of those things, and like just being like, wait, that is a form of trauma. Like, even losing someone in high school, or like watching someone. You don't have to like be there and sit there and like, I watched somebody die in my arms, is like I heard gunfire, and no, like even just losing a friend and like losing an acquaintance is like a form of trauma. It's one of those forms of trauma that I think isn't great. Right? Honestly, I don't like the BMP. I'm having way too much fun with the MX Grand, so I think I'm just gonna keep the MX Grand. But and like kind of reclassifying what trauma is in our heads, because I think we all are kind of forced to believe that, like, I don't know, trauma's real serious shit. And in reality, I think we go through trauma every day. Like, I wouldn't say we go through trauma every day, but like, I think sometimes we misclassify trauma, right? Like, like we think of trauma as, oh, it's only like this super serious thing, and if anybody tells you it's otherwise, then they're wrong, and they don't know what trauma is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we only, oh fuck, okay. Trauma is this really serious thing, and it's not something to joke about. And I don't think, I'm joking about it in any way, shape or form, but like, kind of thinking about like, just the life that I've lived, and, the things that have happened in my life. Not necessarily to me, but around me, right? And then just kind of realizing that, like, oh fuck, yeah, no, that was trauma, that was really hard. That was kind of damaging, um, and has like a really hard lasting effect on me. You know what? The music has stopped, but I don't care. I mean, we're just kind of talking. Um, and so it's something that I've grown to kind of be able to talk about. And be real with myself, especially like, just recognizing that, I don't have to have like the worst of times, especially when it comes to like trauma or whatever. Like I don't have to go through like the darkest and bleakest of things and see shit, you know, to really say that like, oh yeah, no, I've gone through some traumatic stuff. So it's sometimes really hard to kind of like relive it. But I think also within that case, like it's super important to recognize what trauma looks like what it is. I'll take some double tap. Because again, I think we don't look at trauma unless it is like, oh my god, I am, like truly suffering, like we don't look at trauma unless it is like the deepest and darkest of shit, whereas that's not entirely the case, so I don't know. It's really what I'm trying to say here is like it's a reclassification of the mind, and that's what kind of takes a while to kind of get to, like especially like reclassifying what shit is and what shit isn't. I need to pop this. So I don't know. It's been really interesting. And this conversation kind of like took a nice little turn where, I started talking about, like trauma and how we cope with it and how, along with that, how we recognize trauma, you know what I mean? Like how do we recognize trauma in our lives? Like, what does this trauma look like? What do we do? Like, how do we handle it? And where do we go from it? And so the reason I ask this is kind of like, how do you handle, if you have ever experienced trauma, how do you identify it? And how do you handle it? Not really asking for advice, but just more of like, I think opening up the floor to conversation. Because, what's the best way to say it? Wounds don't heal unless we tend to them or acknowledge them as wounds. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm gonna bring up Monty Python, but like, like 'tis only a flesh wound or whatever. Like if we don't recognize it as a flesh wound, then are we? I don't want the bootlegger. Like, 'tis only a flesh wound, but if we, like, at least we recognize it as a flesh wound, right? So, I guess, I don't know. How do we deal with trauma is the biggest thing, and, like, how do we go about our day? Like, how do we go about our day, like, sometimes addressing the trauma that we do experience, and, like, what trauma looks like to us, and, like, how we've been affected by trauma, or I feel like I'm rambling on about trauma, but it was something that, it just really kind of connected with me, and I was just like, this is something I feel like I need to talk about, because, I've been kind of juggling this idea for a while, because it's hard to talk about anything trauma related on, any online thing, you know what I mean? Because, like, there are some people out there that get it, and then there are others that don't. So I just, I don't know. I don't know. I want to hit that, but I also don't want to blow it up. I guess my biggest thing, that I'm gonna kind of leave off with this conversation is that, like, it's important to kind of talk about trauma, specifically because, like, trauma is not just reserved for, like, war veterans, Like, there are plenty of traumatic events that have happened outside of war. That does not mean that it's not valid. That does not mean that it's not real. That does not mean that it's not important. Because especially if it affects you or if it is part of your life, like, it's real, it's valid, it affects you. And I think also taking the time to kind of like address something like that is also super important as well. Daddy needs jug. What we got? No. But yeah, like I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about some of this stuff, like a lot. I like a lot, and I think I'm gonna play out the rest of this round. I know there's no music, but actually, tell you what. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can like reset everything. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that weird cut. Again, I think I'm just like I'm being big dumb, so I don't think I set it to shuffle, but I don't think I set it to repeat after shuffle. So I think it's just kind of like shuffling through songs and then like kind of being big dumb. I really know it's not being big dumb. It's doing its job. It just doesn't have all the information that it needs. Kind of like me with my job. It's doing its best, but also is like very confused as to what I need. So, and if that ain't a mood, I can't tell you what. Like, I don't. Oh, okay. You know what I hate about these zombies? They have such a long reach. Like, I feel like these zombies just have like the longest reach. They're real long boys in this game, which is fine. Like, all us short boys can't all have the glory or whatever. Like it is what it be, tbh. So Mary, yeah. So I again, I know there's that weird cut and everything, but I encourage you, wherever you are, however you are, and wherever you are in the life that you live, to really kind of address the trauma that you have. Like, if you have trauma, if you don't, that's fine too. But like, if you are kind of like, man, I don't feel great for whatever reason that is, or like, if you have events that just kind of like sit really badly within your mind, and you're kind of like, I don't know if this is trauma or not. Like, keep in mind that, as much as we want to say that like veterans are the only ones that experience trauma, it's not true. There are plenty of different events that happen in everyday life that leave a scar on us, and sometimes we have to live with those events. It's funny, I watched an episode of Game Grumps, as I do, as one does, right? And there was Dan said something along the lines of death, quoting Neil Peart. I think he said Neil Peart, but I've always known it as Neil Peart. But he's a he's a Rush fan. He knows he knows what's up. But like something along the line, he said something along the lines of death is for the survivors. And then kind of went on to kind of explain it in the sense that, like, the worst parts of death is that, like, I guess, and I don't think I'm really phrasing this the best way, but for lack of a better phrasing, and I'll come up with probably something in a bit, death is much easier for the people who are dying. No, that's not it either. For the people who are living, death has the hardest effect. You know what I mean? Because at least, like, for the people who are passing on, it's hard in the moment, but afterwards, there's no more pain, there's no more like hurt, there's no, you've now moved on. Whereas the people who are survived for whatever reason, pretty much get to stay. you know, but they kind of have to stay with that. Like in that Cowboy Bebop-esque, like you're gonna carry that weight. You know, and that's always really hard, solely because I thought I could loop them. Instead, I just stood still like a big dumb. I can still actually loop them. Yeah, I'm not doing bad here. Like, definitely thought I was gonna do a low. Okay, I guess not. It boxed me out. Did a damn fine job boxing me out here. I'm also playing like a big dumb, but like, and I agree to that to an extent. Like, you know, like death is hard for the person who is dying, but like it's a lot harder for the survivor. You know, the person that is still kind of around, because then they kind of have to live without that person in their life. You know, and that's always really hard, because then you're kind of like, well, where do I go from here? Like, you know, whether you've lost a friend, whether you've lost a loved one, or, you know, it's kind of like, where do I go from here? And that's always really hard. I don't. Oh, look. I'm not gonna act like I'm a person who has all the fucking answers, because I sure as hell don't. You know, I sure as hell don't. Okay. We just might not get jugged. And y'all might have to be cool with that. But I think the best answer I have is, you know, in terms of where do we go from here, especially if we lost somebody, is one step at a time. We take the moment and the time to process, grieve, miss that person. But then we also take the time to live our lives again, you know? Like, and it's so hard, because then you feel like I have to make it up to this person or that person or whatever, and I have to like live my life to the fullest, and it's like, no, you just have to live your life as you. You know, like, you know, it's super unfortunate that people die, and like, you know, like, I don't know. But our lives are our lives, you know? Like, we have to kind of keep living. We have to keep moving forward for the most part. Wow, I am almost out of ammo. Yeah, we have to keep living, unlike these zombies that are right in front of me, right? And I hope that joke doesn't come off as offensive, because sometimes I'll make jokes just to kind of, you know, lighten the air. But especially within life, we kind of have to take those steps to really find ways to live, right? Like, or find ways to kind of reconnect, live, and like enjoy life, you know, begin again, if anything. And I think that's really hard, especially when, you know, we've got that hurt on our heart, you know? It's really hard to be like, yeah, I wanna, you know, I'm happy again, or I'm feeling good again, or whatever, you know, especially when we've got that hurt in our heart. Because, you know, it's hard for, hell, it's hard for me not to hold on to anything, you know? This isn't a bad training spot, it just would not be a good long-term training spot. Especially how I'm playing like a big fucking dummy. So, I don't know, I guess, oh god, I hate that it reds up your screen so badly. So I guess, I don't know, my limited wisdom or whatever, if someone, you know, if you're out there and you're just kind of like, I'm really struggling with this, I hope that you find the strength and spirits begin again, especially if you've lost someone close to you, you know, like, you know, you don't have to make it up to that person or whatever. I see they're making me use the MX Garand again. Oh, what a shame. Oh, it's poo-poo. That's why I'm not using this MX Grand. It massive poo-poo. Ah, the Vespa. But yeah, no. Like, find the time and find the space to begin again. So, that's what we're gonna do for 2021. We're gonna find the space and time and the world to begin again. To cherish the ones that we've loved, to cherish the ones that we've lost, to not drink Deadshot Daiquiri, and to begin again with open arms. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That feels like a real good plan. I love how I was hiding behind that pillar as if that zombie could shoot me, which is hilarious. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling. And if that's how you're feeling, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button, because that's where I'm going with this. Like, that's where I want to be, TBH. Like, I want to, like, truly, I'm in the spirit of just beginning again right now. Like, not clean slate-esque kind of things, but just like, I don't know, starting again and just kind of taking the time that we really need to, like, really make ourselves better. Ah, God. Oh, cool. But hey, that's okay. This episode's a little bit longer, so, like, that's why I'm glad that it kind of ended then and there. But so that is my take to you all. I hope that, I don't know, you can take my message, you can not take my message. Look, I don't really care. But I think that's where we kind of need to go, especially within our lives. Accept the bad that happened, but I think moving forward, especially with the yeah, don't worry about it. Controller batteries are low, blah blah blah. But also just kind of moving forward with our lives and really recognizing that, it feels bad now, but it will not be bad forever. So, with that, I'm gonna make it a quick wrap up. It's your boy Easy Reg on WEZY, the Easy Zone. Shoot forward with energy, because you'll know when you're ready, and then when you get your shot in the world, like whatever you're going through, like something's really hard, something's really frustrating, and you're waiting for that big break, take your time, really sit back into it, and then when that moment comes, shoot like a rocket. Shoot for the stars. And that moment will come to you. It's coming. It always is. So, thanks for coming on this journey with me. I actually learned a lot about myself, and I hope you kind of got a little introspective with yourself as well. So, I care about you all. I'm not going to say I love you because I don't really know you, but once again, it's your boy Easy Red signing off. Take care.